Good morning, Bishop Bay. This is Alana. Welcome to Friday, and for maybe some of you, a long weekend with some schools being out today. I'm excited to have a little warmer weather and start our day off with some gentle stretching. So I think I've shared now the last few weeks, I have been, this is just my mantra, humbled by an injury. And so I am learning to stretch and exercise and use my body in new ways, in ways that protects it. And today we're gonna actually try some gentle yoga from a chair. So if you have a chair, that would be lovely. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Something actually a little more firm is better, so even a folding chair is okay. I'm gonna start there with you now, and we are gonna really focus on breath today and slow movements, and of course, just a nice stretch. So we wanna think about using the breath to lengthen and relax our bodies. So let's go ahead and find our chair. And most of these poses can actually be modified for the floor. So if you prefer and you don't want to grab a chair, you don't have a chair nearby, you can find a comfortable spot on the floor. You can either be in hero's pose with your feet tucked underneath you, or you can just simply have your legs folded into a modified half lotus. So just find a comfortable spot, whether you're on your chair or on your floor. Think about sitting down through the sit bones. So you kind of want those corners of your booty to connect with the floor. And then I want you to think about rolling your shoulders up, back, and down. So we have that nice proud chest, nice openness through the front body. And then I'm gonna actually invite you to close your eyes, because we're just gonna start with a 3-part breath. So as you think about the breath coming in through your nose, I want it first to fill the belly as step 1, then up into the rib cage, and all the way up into the collarbone. As you exhale, we just reverse that breath, exhaling out first through the chest, middle of the rib cage, and then the belly. So let's try that again. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 1, 2, 3. You can inhale through the nose, 1, 2, 3. Exhale through the mouth, 2, 3. Do just about 5 more of those on your own. Making sure to keep that proud posture. Staying grounded through the sit bones. And slowly just open your eyes and let your breath just come naturally. So we can take away that 1, 2, 3 breath and just think about connecting. 1 big inhale through the nose, 1 big exhale through the mouth. Nice deep cleansing breaths. Good. Now we're going to go ahead and bring our fingertips right to our ears. And then I want you to think about opening up through the elbows as we inhale, opening through the chest, and then just exhaling slightly with slight rounding of the back as you bring your elbows forward. You're not going to crunch all the way in. We are going to open, thinking about getting tall, and then closing, thinking about collapsing slightly through those shoulders, rounding through the shoulders. Inhale, still sitting through the sit bones. And exhale. With every inhale, we get a little bit taller through the crown of our head, stretching through that spine, and exhale, rounding through the back. Inhale, and exhale. So slightly tucking that chin in, but the chin is never going to connect with your chest. So even as we do a few more of these breaths, let the chin work down towards your chest without touching. One more. Perfect. Hands come down at our side. We're going to reach all the way up. And then exhale into our forward half fold. So you can actually come down, and we're touching our shins into that extended flat back. So think about reaching long and away through the crown of your head, and then pushing the chest as close to your thighs as you can. Hands can connect to the front of your legs, if that feels good. Shooting energy out from the tailbone and the top of the head. Let's go ahead and inhale, breath, coming all the way back up. Hands overhead, and we're going to do that again. Forward fold, down towards those shins. If you can go a little further, you can continue to work your way down. And inhale, breath. We're going to do that one more time. See if you can keep your bottom connected to the chair as we forward fold. So maybe the range isn't quite as big, that's okay. And then hands reach up. And hands come to heart center. Good, we're gonna find our first twist. So exhaling the breath, keeping those knees to center. Just find that elbow outside of the knee, pushing into the thigh if you need to, and then looking over the top elbow. Just a little spinal twist here. Feet press into the floor, that's gonna keep us grounded. And then we can even open up that twist, bringing the hand outside the knee, and the top arm reaches up toward the ceiling. See if you can push those fingertips long and away. If that's too much, just keep the rotation right here. And let's come back through center, lifting up, opening, recentering the shoulders if we need to, and then twisting the opposite direction. Press the palms of your hands into one another. So you're trying to create that resistance. That's actually going to force that lengthening too as we stretch the hands open. Kind of that recoil effect. Our body working away from itself. One more deep breath. And let's come back into center. Good work. All right. Go ahead and roll those shoulders back and down again. We're going to try another breathing exercise. Again, thinking about that posture, and that's why the chair is here to really help force us into that beautiful posture. We spend a lot of time in a seated position, and it usually looks like this. So we want to think about the ways that that's actually damaging our body, and it's bringing us pain and weakness. And so the more that we can find this functional position, this perfect functional position, the better our body is going to feel. So let's go ahead and reach our hands out to the front. And then I want you to bring your fingers together and your wrists nice and strong, pointing the fingers down. Think about rolling the shoulders back. This is going to be our beautiful inhale breath. And then as we exhale, we're going to press the palms to the front of the room, opening the fingers nice and wide. So inhale, nice and tight, get tall. Exhale, everything relaxes just slightly. Inhale, and exhale. Good. So not a lot of movement through the spine. This is really a visual pose, thinking about that mind-body connection. So everything tall and perfect, sitting in our most perfect typing position, computer stance. And then exhale, we maintain that position. We just let everything relax. Inhale. Exhale. Fingers splayed. 2 more times. And release. Great. Let's go ahead and come into a little hip opener. So you pick the leg. We're going to see if you can cross that ankle on top of your bent knee. Now, your knee might be up here. That's totally fine. You might be able to flatten a little bit. We want to flex the ankle, and we want to think again about sitting up nice and tall. So you're going to feel that stretch through the inner and the outer hip, a little maybe through the glute. And then we can even take it a little bit further if you want to, by hinging forward. Now, if that's too much, just stay tall. But we want to think about moving the trunk of the body forward towards that bent leg. to deepen that stretch. Now let's just breathe through this pose. Balance your sit bones. If one is starting to creep up, it's probably that bent knee. Just relax into the glutes. And you'll notice today I'm going to close my eyes on every single pose. I invite you to close your eyes. It actually feels really nice, especially when we're taking a little longer stretch. Just to block out the world around you. See if you can lift that knee up with an inhale. And then exhale, just push it a little closer to the floor, like magnets drawing it down toward the ground, opening that hip even further. One more deep breath here in that deepened position. And let's go ahead and take that ankle off of your knee and set it back down toward the floor. All right, let's stretch through those legs. So just coming up on those tippy toes. Lift your heels one at a time. Don't let the toes come off of the floor. Push those into the floor. There you go. Just a little bit of movement. Maybe the upper body starts to rotate just a little bit over those feet as they're stretching. And we're going to go to the opposite side. So begin the opposite foot up. Nice strong ankle onto that knee. Maybe one side is better than the other. We take an inhale up to the chest, zipping our body up nice and tall. And then exhale if you want to, just hinging slightly forward. It's barely noticeable. So if we're thinking about being straight up and down here, we just want to come a couple degrees closer to that shin. And just see how that increases the intensity of the stretch. Remember, we're here for a minute, so an invitation to close your eyes, thinking about the length. More deep breath. Let's go ahead and bring that knee up slightly, and then exhale, push it down toward the floor. Oh yeah, we can come a little deeper after that seated stretch. Big breath, and out. Great job. Take that ankle off. We're gonna just come back. This time, picking those feet up, just a little bit of a march on the floor. See if you can come up just 6 inches maybe up off the floor. So start to get a little bit of movement. Your thighs are going to disconnect from the mat. Good job. All right, nice and tall right here. We're going to get another breath here. This time the inhale is going to come as we drop the arms. So coming into goalpost arms, this is our exhale. Palms are facing in, thumbs to the back of the room. And then we're going to rotate out with that exhale, coming down, palms toward the floor. So inhale, goalpost arms, and exhale, rotate thumbs to the front, keeping everything right here. So nice little shoulder work. Inhale, height. Exhale, stretch long. Inhale, height. Elbows come to 90 degrees. Exhale, long. Inhale, this is going to get that those nice toned arms we're looking for the summer. Exhale, long. We still have about 3 more. We want to hit that fatigue where we don't want to keep the arms up anymore. The upper back is working as well, keeping those shoulder blades squeezed in together. Inhale, let's take a quick pause at the top. And exhale, pause right here. Keep your arms stretched out nice and wide, stay tall. Good, 3 more deep breaths right here. Arms stretched, fingertips long and away. Two more. shoulder rolls, bringing those arms up and around, shoulders up towards the ears, and then back and down. 2 more times, rolling it out. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and start on one side. I'm just going to do a little side angle from the chair. So you're going to keep your front leg bent to 90. We're going to reach our hand towards that extended leg, and then we're just going to tip over for a little side bend. So one butt cheek firmly planted, the other one is down, but because the leg is extended, it has a little different feel. So you can drop the hand down towards your knee if that feels good, or right in front of that thigh. We want to think about that little C curve coming around our spine and bringing our fingertips towards our toes. If you want a little bit more, you can extend that bottom arm toward the front, challenging through those lats, a little bit more through the shoulders that we just worked. Keep breathing. And let's come back through center. We're going to slide that leg in and we're going to go to the other side. So take that opposite leg out, extend it, sit down deeply through the stretch, extend the bottom arm, extend the top arm. So we start with that C curve through our spine. Sometimes it feels good to slide your bottom hand towards your toe. I actually like it inside my thigh. I feel like that can actually open up through that side stretch a little bit more. So just find a comfortable position that allows you to go deeper. And then we can take that hand forward if you're able. This might produce a little bit more strain in that opposite hip. So if you start to feel it there, or it doesn't feel good, just drop it back down. One more deep breath. Good job. Coming back through center. Let's bring our legs in together. And then we're going to one at a time, just hug our knees in. Nice big breath. And exhale all the way down to the floor. Take that opposite leg in. Deep breath in. And out. Let's do again on both sides. Tall and open. And right here. Perfect. All right. We're going to try a little warrior right here on the chair. So if you want to come to the floor into a full warrior, you can. But we're going to start to shift our body, keeping our torso strong. But one leg extends and one leg comes to the side of the chair. So we're doing a seated warrior. And the reason we have the chair is this is a great progression step. So if you're not quite in the warriors yet, like I am not, then this is a great way to still do them even in that seated position. If you want to, you can push up off of the chair, and that's really what we're trying to go to. So right now I'm barely touching the chair as I come up into my warrior position. But if I were to need it, I can sink back down into the chair. So this is great as we start to think about how our practice might evolve with age or injury. We want to find those modifications and those modalities that are going to allow us to continue to stretch our body. I had a grandma who was well into her 80s that still found a physical fitness routine that worked for her, that included weights even. But there has to be modifications as our body ages and grows, and that's just the life cycle. So I'm learning that more than ever right now, and hoping that I can share that with you. So if you're here, or if you're lifted, it's kind of hard to tell. Did you know I was just sitting that whole time? Maybe you were lifted. Just think about, again, those finger-to-finger stretches, rolling through the back outside pinky toe, and pressing in through the heel on that front foot. Great job. And then can we lift the hands up? And down. And then we're just going to find a little extension, reaching towards the front knee, and again, you can be seated or not, and then coming in to our side warrior. Just that nice little extension. Beautiful. Let's come up out of that, back into our warrior. If you're seated on the chair, see if you can lift up just for the last 5 seconds here, pushing into the outside of the feet. Big breath, roll shoulders back, square shoulders, 3, 2, and 1. Good, bring those knees in, give yourself a little stretch. Maybe you can bring your heels up onto your chair. I can't, my chair's too short maybe. There we go, rolling into a little wall. Tall and strong, and we're going to the other side. So bring your feet down. We're just gonna reverse our warrior. So finding that positioning, you get to decide how much is the chair gonna help and support you in this warrior. Think about lifting up if that's possible for you. Great, do it right now. And the great news is when we use the chair, if I'm taking this stretch too long because I'm using it more than you are, then you can always just use it as leverage. So take your time. Breathing through our poses. Uncurl your front toes, I was digging in. Let the arms come up. Let the arms come down. And we're going to come into our extended warrior. Reaching the hand front, elbow bends to knee, and then come over to the side. Taking pressure off the chair if you're able. Into our warrior one last time. Releasing the pressure from the chair for just the last 5 seconds if possible. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Great job. Go ahead and find your way back to the chair. Bring your feet in front of you. Get nice and tall. We're going to bring our hands behind our low back. Pressing the knuckles down toward the seat of the chair. Rolling shoulders down towards the spine. Open through the chest. Think about your breath flowing in and out, maybe taking just a few of those 3-part breaths. Belly, ribcage, chest, chest, ribcage, belly. The wave running down the front body. And releasing those hands, good job. All right. So we're going to just do a little bit more for that back, taking one arm in front, bending at the elbow, and then the other elbow underneath, and crossing under just into our eagle's pose. And then we're going to cross our legs so that we're starting to think about pulling the arms up, opening through the back. Of course, our feet are going to be rested on the floor, but this is going to provide that little spinal opening, that spinal stretch. So lift your elbows up high, keep your palms pressed together if you're able. And then if you want a little bit more, you can go ahead and round the back, kind of almost taking a bow down towards your knees. And crunching up into a little ball. Take one more breath. And one vertebrae at a time, coming back to our seated position. We're going to uncross the legs first, and then just unwrap the arms, and just let them flow down at your side, rolling those shoulders one at a time, right and left. We're going to go the opposite direction. So take the opposite arm underneath, opposite leg over. Get nice and tall to start. Think about pulling the elbows up toward the ceiling. And then once you're extended as much as you can be, just start to hinge forward. So it's an extension and then a nice little hinge. So think about pressing out through the low back. So the shoulders are coming down in a C curve. Press the belly button back through the spine. We want to protect that low back so we're not hunching forward, but we're rounding forward, we're curling forward. One more deep breath here. And then slowly uncurl. Take your time. Take your time, just like we took our time coming down, we want to take our time coming back up. We're going to uncross the legs and uncross the arms and come back to those little shoulder circles. Alternate shoulder circles at your side. Perfect. All right, one last seated stretch, and then we're going to move into just a little breathing to finish this off today. So this is a little flossing here with our leg, but we're going to pick up one leg, pointing the toe, and we're just going to kick that heel up in front of us. I want you to think about looking up when the toe comes up, and then curling down into that little C curve as the heel comes in towards the chair. For some of us, you're going to be able to extend this leg further, and that's the whole point. We're trying to reach that flexibility level for everybody. So inhale the breath, extending the leg, and then exhale the breath, curling down into that ball. Inhale breath. My hands are at my hips, they could be at your side, wherever feels comfortable, in your lap. Good. Do about 10 on each side. We've got about 3 more after this. One more. And release. So reset through the shoulders. We're going to do it on the other side. This is an amazing exercise if you have sciatica pain. This is really flossing that nerve that's running down your leg. It's trying to increase the pathway, decrease the resistance that's put on that nerve as it's trying to come through. So inhale, breath up. And exhale, rounding down. I definitely have different mobility on different sides, that's okay. This leg can extend a lot further. We don't ever want to push to the point where it's so painful that you don't want to do the exercise anymore. It's okay to have a little tension, but we should definitely not feel major pain when we're doing these stretches. Last one for me right here. Inhale and exhale. Good, resetting the positioning of that body. I'm going to scoot myself just a little further back on my chair. Allow that back to give me a little bit extra support. Plant my feet firmly on the ground. And then I'm going to let my hands just relax in my lap. We're going to come into just our relaxation for the last just minute or so here. To take that moment on our Friday. It's one of my favorite times of the day where I get to stop and just breathe and be present with myself. So I invite you to do the same, thinking about maybe that 3-part breath or just a focus on the breath as we take just about 1 moment, 1 minute of silence and meditation.